My child, stop for a moment. Just stop. Put down whatever you are doing. Let the world wait, because right now, in this moment, I have something I need to say to you. Something I have been waiting to say. Something that has been pressing against my heart every time I have watched you carry your pain in silence. Every time I have seen you hold yourself together in front of other people and then fall apart the moment you were alone. Every time the door closed, or the car was empty, or the pillow was dark and no one was watching, I was watching. I was there. I heard every single sound you made. I heard the crying you tried to muffle so no one would know. I heard the prayers that came out as nothing more than a whisper because you did not have the strength for full words. I heard the sighs, the shaking breaths, the silence that came after, that heavy, aching silence that settles in when a person has cried everything out, and still nothing has changed. I heard all of it, my child. Every single tear, and that is what I came to tell you today. Not because you asked for a sign, not because you have everything figured out, not because your faith has been perfect and your trust has been unwavering, but because you are mine, and I cannot watch my child suffer in secret without coming close, without speaking, without making sure you know that the darkness you have been sitting in has never been as empty as it felt. I have been in it with you the whole time, and I am here with you right now, so breathe. You are safe here. Let me speak to you. My child, there is something that human beings do when they are hurting, something I understand, but something that also breaks my heart to watch. They hide, not always on purpose, not always even consciously, but they learn, usually early in life, that certain kinds of pain are not welcome in certain kinds of spaces. They learn that there is a limit to how much honesty people can hold. They learn that some wounds are too quiet, too personal, too hard to explain. And so they begin to carry those wounds in a very private, very interior way, smiling on the outside, performing fine, and weeping on the inside where no one can see. You have done this, haven't you? I am not saying it with judgment. I am saying it with tenderness because I know exactly why you learned to do it, and I know exactly how long you have been carrying the weight of it. I know the moments that taught you to go quiet with your pain. I know the times you reached out and were not met the way you needed. I know the times you showed a glimpse of what you were really feeling, and it was dismissed or minimized, or met with the kind of response that made you feel like your pain was too much for the room, and so you learned to take it somewhere else, to take it to the pillow, to the shower, to the long drive alone, to the dark hours before dawn when the house was still, and there was finally a space big enough to let it out. I want you to know something about those hidden places. I was in every single one of them. I was in the bathroom when you ran the water so no one would hear you cry. I was in the car with you during those drives when the tears started coming and you had nowhere to go but forward. I was in the dark of your bedroom at 2 a.m, sitting right there with you in the silence after the sobs stopped and the world still had not changed, and your chest was still full of ache, and you did not know how you were going to get through the next day, let alone the next season. I was there. And here is what I want you to hear, not just with your mind, but deep in your spirit, where the real believing happens. My presence in those places was not passive. I was not simply an observer of your pain. I was moved by it. I was moved by it the way a father is moved when he finds his child crying alone in the dark, not with the cold distance of a God who is watching from somewhere far away, but with the near, warm, aching closeness of a father who loves you and cannot stand to see you suffer and is already working on your behalf, even before you finish the sentence, even before the prayer is fully formed, even before you know what to ask for. When you cry, my child, heaven is not unmoved. My heart is not unmoved. Every tear that falls from your eyes lands in my hands. I catch them. Did you know that? Your tears are not wasted. They are not scattered into the air and forgotten. They are precious to me. Each one of them carries the weight of something real, something that matters, something that I take seriously. And not one of them has gone unnoticed. Not one. My child, I want to go deeper than the obvious tears. I want to speak to the ones you have not even fully named for yourself yet, because sometimes pain is so layered, so old, so woven into the fabric of who you have come to believe you are, that you no longer even recognize it as pain. You just call it life. You just call it the way things are. But I see it differently. I see the grief you have carried for a version of your life that did not turn out the way you hoped. The grief that does not have a name because nothing technically died, but something was lost all the same. A dream, a relationship, a future you had imagined so clearly that losing it felt like losing something real, even though the world would not call it a loss. I see that grief. I know how lonely it is to mourn something that no one else will acknowledge as worthy of mourning. I see the loneliness that lives inside you, even when you are surrounded by people, the particular ache of being in a room full of love and still feeling unseen, the exhaustion of always being the strong one, the one who holds it together, the one people lean on, and never quite feeling like you have a space to be anything other than capable. You pour yourself out for others with so much faithfulness and generosity, and yet when you turn around, there is sometimes no one there to pour back into you, and you smile, and you say you are fine, and inside you are slowly emptying. I see the fear that runs underneath everything and does not always announce itself clearly. The fear that this is as good as it gets. The fear that the thing you have been waiting for will not come. The fear that you have been left behind in some way that cannot be undone. The fear that maybe, just maybe, I have forgotten you, that I am faithful to others, but somehow, for reasons you cannot figure out, your situation is different. Your prayers bounce back. Your season is longer. Your mountain will not move. I want to address that fear directly, and I want to address it with everything I am. I have not forgotten you. There is not a version of reality in which I could forget you. You are written on the palms of my hands. That is not a metaphor. That is a statement of how permanently, how viscerally, how concretely you are part of me. Before you were born, I knew you. I formed you. I thought about you. I had a plan for your life that was full of good things. Not easy things, not painless things, but genuinely, deeply good things. And that plan has not been canceled. It has not been revised because you struggled. It has not been put on hold because your faith has not been perfect. It is still in motion. It is still being worked out, and it is leading somewhere magnificent. The fear that you have been forgotten is a lie, my child. And tonight, I am here to replace that lie with truth. Part 3. The night that broke you. I want to talk about a specific night, not last night, though I was there. I want to talk about the night or the season that fundamentally changed something in you. The moment when something broke inside that has not fully healed since. The experience that carved out a hollow place in your heart that you have been carrying ever since, trying to fill it with busyness, or with helping others, or with distraction, or with sheer willpower, but the hollow place remains. I was there for that moment too, and I want to say something about it that I need you to hear. What happened to you was not my plan for you. The pain that was caused by someone else's choice, their leaving, their neglect, their cruelty, their failure to be who you needed them to be, that was not authored by me. The loss that came too suddenly and too soon. The betrayal that reoriented your whole sense of how safe the world was. The abandonment that taught your heart, at a very deep level, that love cannot be trusted to stay. I did not design those wounds. I did not send them as punishment or as a lesson or as some calculated move in a cosmic plan. They came because this world is broken, because people are broken, because pain is real and loss is real and human failure is real. But here is what I want you to know. I was in the aftermath. I was in the hollow place. I am in it still. And I have been working. quietly, steadily, without making a great announcement about it, to redeem what was broken, not just to patch it, not just to cover it over with something new, but to redeem it, to take the very thing that was meant to diminish you and to transform it into something that deepens you, expands you, qualifies you for a level of compassion and authority and depth that simply could not have been built any other way. Redemption is not the same as erasure. It does not pretend the wound never happened. It takes the wound seriously. It honors the realness of what you went through, and then it does something miraculous with it. It turns it into testimony. It turns it into the very thing that makes you capable of holding another person in their darkness because you have been in the dark yourself. It turns the place of your greatest pain into the location of your most powerful ministry, not just formal ministry, but the ministry of presence, of understanding, of being the person who can look someone in the eye and say, I know, I really know, and there is a way through. That is what I am building in you, my child. Not just survival, not just recovery, something transformative, something that will one day make every tear make sense in a way that you cannot yet fully see. My child, I want to address something with great gentleness, but also with great honesty. The habit of hiding your pain, of carrying it in secret, of not letting it be seen, has cost you something. I understand why you developed it. I truly do. And I am not here to shame you for it, but I want you to see what it has done, because part of what I am doing in this season is releasing you from patterns that have kept you smaller and lonelier than you were ever meant to be. Hiding your pain has kept you from receiving help that was available. There have been people in your life, real people, imperfect but willing, who would have shown up for you if they had known what you were really carrying. But you did not let them in. You gave them the surface version, the edited version, the I'm fine, just a little tired version, and so they could not respond to what was real. They were not given the chance, and you remained alone in something you did not have to be alone in. Hiding your pain has also reinforced a belief that your needs are too much. Every time you swallowed the tears and put on the smile, somewhere inside a voice was saying, see, your pain is not acceptable. It is not welcome. You have to manage this alone. And the more you acted on that belief, the more deeply it became embedded. Until the isolation stopped feeling like a choice and started feeling like just the way things are. Like your natural condition. Like something about you that is fixed. It is not fixed, my child. It is learned, and what is learned can be unlearned. I am inviting you right now, in this moment, to begin the practice of bringing your real self to me. Not the tidied up version, not the version that has organized all its feelings into acceptable categories. The actual you, the scared one, the confused one, the one who has questions that feel dangerous to ask out loud, the one who has doubted me more than they want to admit. Bring that person. I can handle it. I am not fragile. I am not going to recoil from your honesty. I am not going to love you less because you are real with me. In fact, I will tell you the truth. I am more moved by the raw, unpolished, barely coherent prayers that come from the broken places of your heart than I am by the perfectly structured, theologically correct prayers that come from a place of performance. When you break open before me, when you stop managing the presentation and just let it pour out, whatever it is, however messy, that is when I come rushing in. That is when heaven leans close, because that kind of vulnerability is an act of trust, and trust is the language that moves my heart. So let it out, whatever you have been holding. Right now, even as you read these words, let yourself be honest with me. I already know anyway, but there is something that happens in you when you stop pretending, a release, a relief, a cracking open of the places that have been sealed too long. Let that happen. I am here. I am safe.